正解。
Rebirth of the Malicious Empress of Military Lineage, Chapter 226, Paper to Fellow Citizens Under Heavens. So it is as such. Yi carefully looked at Yi Mai, and upon seeing that Yi Mai did not react specially, he was relieved. He then probingly asked, "Older sister, do you find it not good?" "Not good?" Yi Mai looked at him astonished and smiled immediately. "There is nothing not good about it. After entering the palace, one would be noble and rich for one's entire lifetime, being below one person and above tens of thousands of people. Could it be that you think I am that stupid to even let go of the wealth and riches that has reached to one's fingertips?" She said, "Initially I wanted to marry one with a higher position, and the emperor is the most noble person under heavens. Naturally it isn't anything bad in becoming the emperor's woman." In the span of speaking, Yi Mai had restored her previous appearance and style, looking like she fully agreed with Yik. When Yik saw it as such, he clapped his hands with smiles. "I had said so. Father previously feared that you will not agree to eat and insisted for me to persuade you, and I knew that he was worried for nothing. This kind of good news, older sister would definitely agree. One is not a fool, so why is there a need for persuasion?" When he was relaxed, he started to spill that he came to persuade Yi Mai under the orders of Yi Maokai. Yi Mai eyes flashed and she smiled. "Father most likely do not understand me, but you are my younger brother. How could you not understand me?" "Older sister, if you enter the palace and gain the emperor's favor, you must not forget this younger brother," Yik said. "Now that father had already brought me into officialdom, in the future with older sister's help, my road can only be smoother. It is likely that everyone in Longyi have to listen to us siblings. At that time wind and rain is at our beck of call. As for that empress, it is just a display. Now even that pregnant consort Jing is gone. If you enter the palace, no one in the palace is your opponent, and it would definitely be smooth sailing." Yi Mai also smiled. So it is as such. When Yik obtained Yi Mai's guarantee, he seemed to be very satisfied and his final worry was resolved. After speaking a while more, he then leave after discussing with great interest on his future career path with Yi Mai. After Yik left, Yi Mai's expression became cold. Yi Maokai actually bought over Yik so quickly, but it was not unexpected. Yik's biggest wish in this lifetime was to have powers in his hands to call for the wind and rain. Yi Maokai drew a biscuit for Yik, and Yik's heart was moved enough to sacrifice his own older sister. Moreover, in Yik's eyes, going into the palace to be the emperor's woman was most likely a good thing that one could ever hope for, but did not understand the danger in every step of it, because Emperor Yongla was just too difficult to control, and at the other side there was a clear-minded Prince Ruai watching like a tiger. Yik and Yi Mai was the same. They were extremely selfish people that when facing their own interest, the affection of family was not worth anything. If Yik knew that Yi Mai did not have any interest in being the emperor's woman, he would not change his mind or intention, as his own career was much more important. But how would Yi Mai be willing to pave the way for Yik? After Yik left, Yi Mai stood up and walked round the room for 2 rounds, showing her anxiety. But she also understood that Yik currently, in some aspects, was considered her enemy. She thought for a long time before finally came to a decision and stood up and opened up the chest in the room. That were dozens of dresses that Yi Furan gave to her to compensate, and was the latest styles and materials. Yi Mai crouched down in front of the chest and started to select seriously. At the other side, Shen Miao had also learned about the news from Mo Qing's mouth. "Jin Xingming?" Shen Miao asked with a frown. "Other than the identity of a merchant's son, there is nothing special about him," Mo Qing said. However, to suddenly come to Longyi from Qin province, he had been handling several business, and they are all lucrative businesses of the Jin family. After dealing like this, it is indicating that the Jin family does not plan to take new business for these few years. "Not planning to take new business?" Jings could not help but said. "Then what do one eat?" "It seems that one is preparing to leave," Shen Miao muttered. "Then is there any news on the direction that Jin Xingming is leaving to?" Mo Qing was startled and said, "Furan guessed correctly. He even sold something for silver notes and seemed to be going afar and even prepare large amount of money." Shen Miao understood clearly. Go and investigate again if this Jin Xingming have any relation of anyone lately, also what clothes he prepared and final destination, which can been seen from the clues from the things he prepare. Would it be a short or long journey? Is the northern lands or southern lands? If there are people that he contact closely with, one have to pay more attention. However, one must not relax on the monitoring of the Yi siblings. If Jin Xingming have any more private encounters with Yi Mai, one must follow. Mo King complied and left. Jings and Gu Yu was sewing clothes under the lamp as Gu Yu spoke. Furen, how would there be any relationship between that young lady of the Yi family and a son of a merchant? Could it be that her heart is pleased with that young Master Jin, that she did not mind the other party's merchant identity and just had to be together with him? Shen Miao smiled gently and shook her head. Do you know about creeper plant? This servant know about this. Jings heard it and quickly said, when this servant was staying at the countryside, there were creeper plants all around the courtyard. Once spring arrive, one would need to pull up each one of it, else all the trees beside would be tangled to dead by it. Shen Miao said, Yi Mai is like that creeper plant. Yi Mai was very similar to the creeper vine, as this creeper plant had a strong vitality and it was everywhere. The most important point was that any male would be able to become her tree, and she would rely on these trees to continuously climb up, absorbing the sun and the rain, continuously growing stronger until she reached the highest one. In her journey of growth, all those trees that were entangled by her would have their nutrients sucked up and finally die. Jings and Gu Yu looked at one another, and after a long time Jings then said, is she that powerful? This kind of creeper plant looks very strong at the first glance but also has a fatal flaw. Shen Miao said, once her last tree dies, there would not be anything to give her enough nutrients, and she will also follow along to death. Whatever one relies upon, it would be the worst when one is finally deprived of it, she said. Needless to say, Yi Mai must want something from Jin Xingming, a son of a merchant who reached here to end the business and seemed to want to leave. It was obvious that Yi Mai want to board this ship of Jin Xingming and leave the abyss of the Yi family. But how would Shen Miao let her wish come true? This time, let Shen Miao make the decision of Yi Mai's end. In many consecutive days, Zi Jingxing did not return to the residence. Even Tai Yi was not present. When Kong Yang was asked, he would only reply 3 don't know to every question. One felt that the guards in the residence were much busier than usual. Not long after, there was a sudden new flowing in the capital. The Lu family had led the soldiers in rebellion and is currently garrisoned in the city of Xiangyang and occupying Fuyang City, formally opposing the imperial family. This news shocked the commoners in Longyi the most. It was heard that Lu Zhenjuan had a lot of soldiers under his command and had been secretly recruiting troops and horses all these years and expending his strength. The city of Xiangyang was a vast area and it was shocking that he had occupied it. The Lu family did have the courage to confront the imperial family. The guards of the Shen family that Shen Miao brought over was somewhat suspicious and shocked, but Shen Miao did not reacted badly. The people of the past had left matters behind, and Zi Jingxing and Emperor Yongle most likely wanted it to be done like this. First, let the Lu family taste a bit of sweetness. Lu Zhenjuan was a coarse man and naturally would feel that the imperial family was scared of him and take things lightly and would become more arrogant. As such, the imperial family would be able to better plan and catch the Lu family in one net. Even though Zi Jingxing had great confidence, Shen Miao did not believe that the Lu family would have the ability to compete with the Zi family, and Shen Miao was worried about another matter. Even though the Lu family was crazy, they were only targeting the imperial family, so in the eyes of the commoner, the Lu family was just like the Zi family previously, had the merit of establishing the nation at the beginning. Even though one rebel now, but the Lu family has mouth with red lips and white teeth. When they opened them, they said that the imperial family forced them to rebel and said that Emperor Yongle was definitely involved in Emperor Zhao Wu's death. Empress Dowager Jingxian was considered to be an external relative usurping power. Emperor Yongle and mother conspired to kill Emperor Zhao Wu and the other princes, so this position of the emperor was not gained rightfully. All under heavens were stunned. In all truthfulness, when Emperor Zhao Wu passed away, Empress Zhao used lighting means to handle each of the princes, and naturally one was unable to gain any shortcomings, but when it was seen to a concerned person, it looked rather strange. The commoners were as such, and even though they were suspicious, they did not dare to speak of it. Afterwards Empress Zhao passed away and Emperor Yongle succeeded the throne, and under his rule, Great Liang prospered and no one mentioned matters of the past. However, this did not mean that the commoner had completely forgotten about the matter. On the contrary, when the Lu family's words were spread out, after the people of Great Liang were shocked, they began to hesitate. A small portion of the people had believed the Lu family's excuse, but the large population were skeptical. Nevertheless, an emperor would not be able to win all the hearts of the people and would leave behind future problems. Just like Empress Zhao, even though she executed everything cleanly and orderly, it had brought some trouble for Emperor Yongle now. Even if Emperor Yongle used lighting methods to cover the commoner's mouth and cut off the circulating rumors, there were other routes. Could it be that one would use such methods to suppress in one's entire lifetime? The Lu family is just too shameless, Jing said. They actually dared to splash dirty water onto the emperor. Gu Yu sighed. They have already rebelled, and it is either they die or I perish, so what is dirty water? She then said, the Lu family is really vicious. They want both sides to lose and just had to pull in the imperial family. Even if one win, it would be difficult to win the people's heart in the future. Shen Miao frowned for a moment before saying, bring paper and brush over. She then walked over to the table. Jings was startled and asked, Furen is writing a letter back to Ming Qi? Shen Miao shook her head. I want a big piece of paper that is even bigger than the prisoner notice on the city gates. The brush moved like a dragon and snake, showing off her abilities. Jings and Gu Yu had seen Shen Miao writing, and it was either writing family letters to Ming Qi or writing to Pei Lang for information, but those times Shen Miao would become, and there was nothing wrong with it. However, today Shen Miao looked somewhat different. She was solemn, as if she was writing a serious matter that weighed 1,000 jin. 1 jin equals 0.5 kilograms, and she was furious, making one think of the old teachers at Hanlin Imperial Academy. She then writes so fast at the end, making it seem that it was done without thinking in one go. Then she hung the brush and picked up the paper and shook it, as if wanting to dry it. Jings and Gu Yu looked over and saw in that huge white paper, it was filled with black words. Shen Miao words were soft and round, but the words in this paper were inexplicably sharp, as if a sword had jumped up from the paper and… What is this? The two maids were illiterate, but they felt that this was a very important thing. No one cares about the truth, Shen Miao said, but the result is very important. She dried the paper and waiting for all the ink on it dries before saying to Jings, bring this thing to the printing press and get 3,000 pieces printed. Then let the guards in the residence paste it all around at night. Shen Miao said, be fast. Gu Yu and Jing Yi dared not delay and complied as they carefully carried that piece of paper that was full of words out the door. When Shen Miao saw their leaving back views, she was slightly relieved. In matters of the world, the military could determine the universe and civil would make the world peaceful. Since the Lu family wanted to take this opportunity, it was better to turn from passive to active behavior and strengthen one's moral. The ways of civil and military were all thought out. Their Lu family created chaos with their tongues. She could also sly methods. No one knew who would emerge victorious. One not only would let the Lu family loose, but to also let the Lu family lose their feeling of oppression and unable to harvest any benefits. On this night, Zi Jingxing as usual did not return. Shen Miao dressed and ate alone and managed the entire residence of Prince Ruai properly and would have a small gathering from time to time with other noble Furens in Ding capital. She would calmly and quietly stabilize their emotions and would only feel somewhat cold when she slept at night. After thinking of Zi Jingxing for a while, she would cover up and close her eyes to sleep. On the next morning, when the sun shines onto every corner of Long Yi, a sharp-eyed person discovered that there was a white paper that was pasted on one's door, and on it was filled with fill of words. The owner family was a butcher and did not understand, and coincidentally upon seeing one's neighbor, Scholar Ma, walking over, he said, Scholar Ma, you are a lean person, Come over to see what is this." Scholar Ma walked over to the butcher's door, and upon seeing those words he sighed, "Good writing." He then got closer and read out the words, "Paper to fellow citizens under heavens." In a short time, was spread to all the streets and alleys, and others places in Great Liang were also aware of it. That snow-white paper was found everywhere, and many readers kept it in their arms, while even more people want to get to know the person who wrote it. The youths at Hanlin Imperial Academy, refers to the place where all the imperial secretaries were located, were all discussing about that paper. Even though the formal dynasty is weak, there was still peace, but now it is prosperous. There is instead chaos and disorder. Under His Majesty management, the granary is full and there is favorable weather for crops. Today the traders cast doubts with the master and defy the monarch, going against reason and order, being shameful, having face. This is being disloyal, heartless and unjust. Most of the people around were students, and upon hearing these, they all showed a shamed expression and some were angered. The paper first spoke of the Liu family who were rebelling lately, and it first scolded the Liu family traitors for doing such a treacherous thing, and also spoke of the traitors spreading rumors that so many believed in, making one's heart feel cold. When Emperor Yongle was on the throne, the people of Great Liang could work and play peacefully, and the country was wealthy and peaceful, that it was even better than the period when Emperor Zhao Wu was on the throne. The commoners did not think about the merits of the emperor but listened to the words of a traitor. Shouldn't one be shameful? Shouldn't one's face be reddened with shame? Then it mentioned about the rightful roles of military and civil officials. Among Great Liang's talent, there were successful military candidates among the scholars, and the military candidates should think of ways to deal with those traitors as a way to render service to repay the kindness of the monarch, and the civil scholars should pay more attention to it instead of fueling the fire. This was a literary and eloquent piece, and each sentence was sharp and penetrating, that even if one take it apart. Moreover, it was very rational, that one could not help but be ashamed, and started reflecting. With regards to the Liu family's rumors, it was discredited by itself. Emperor Yongle was such a good emperor and treated the commoners so kindly. What's more, to the officials and court? For the Liu family to rebel, they must not be loyal people, and it was a pity that they almost blinded and incited disharmony. This was just too shameful. Those scholars felt that they had no face, and also felt that the person who wrote that paper was every talented person and wanted to make friends. Unfortunately, they were unable to find the person behind. As for those successful military candidates, their hearts of dedicating to the service of the country was lit up, and they hated that they could not join the ranks to personally cut off the rebels' heads. As to the clamor about Emperor Yongle killing his father and seized the throne was no longer mentioned. Kong Yang had paced an entire night of paper and did not expect that there would be so much response, and also had not thought that this rumor would be so easy to resolve. He prostrated himself in admiration of Shen Miao. "Furen, this method of yours is comparable to those top scholars in the palace." One had never seen those scholars in such a pursuit of a person, and if they knew Furen's identity, they would be extremely surprised. Shen Miao smiled and said, "The Liu family is currently in Fuyang and cannot manage matters in Longyi. The most they could do would be to arrange for some people to spread rumors among the people. But the people of Great Liang are not fools. 2 false rumors, 1 baseless, 1 with a rationale. Which one would you believe?" Kong Yang was thoughtful. "However, that is because the commoners' hearts are more inclined towards the emperor, thus it is easy to pull them over. If the Liu family gained the people's heart, and their status in their hearts are indestructible, with these rumors, even if I wrote 10 of those things, it would be in vain." Kong Yang scratched his head. "No matter what, Furen has made a good move. When master return, he would definitely be happy." Moreover, Furen was from the general residence, and one did not expect such talents. Shen Miao did not express an opinion. Talent was nothing but a letter to deceive everyone under heavens. People's hearts needs to be managed, and if the Liu family wanted, naturally they could do it. At that time when Fu Ziyi was enthroned, there naturally was suspicions, but Pei Lang used it to turn black to white and washed away reputation and made him become a peerless wise monarch of Mingqi. Now she used this trick onto the Liu family, returning a tooth for a tooth, returning an eye for an eye. The Liu family wanted to use this to ruin the imperial family's reputation, but that was no longer possible. At the same time, in a small town in Yang province in Great Liang, a green robe-clad male was passing by a school, and the teacher of the school was a 60-year-old man who was shaking his head while reading. Even though the formal dynasty is weak, there was still peace, but now it is prosperous. There is instead chaos and disorder. Under His Majesty management, the granary is full and there is favorable weather for crops. Today the traders cast doubts with the master and defy the monarch, going against reason and order, being shameful, having face. This is being disloyal, heartless and unjust. The footsteps of the green robe-clad male paused, and he could not help but look over. He saw the old maid speaking after reading out the last part. This is the that is circulating in Long Yi. This old teacher has only one piece in one's hand. You all copy this once and hand it in tomorrow. Pei Lang was in a daze before remembering something and could not help but laughed. After smiling for a while, his gaze hung down before looking at that old teacher for a while and left. In Wei Yang Palace, Empress Xianda also had a letter in her hands as she read out to Emperor Yongle. Emperor Yongle sat on the chair and he had a somewhat pale expression, but there was a never-seen softness to it. Jing Xing really married a treasure. Empress Xianda smiled. On had thought that she was a female general with a military lineage, but instead is a female scholar who could move the hearts of the people. Now all the academies in Long Yi are secretly inquiring who is the author of this paper and did not know that it is a female. Emperor Yongle snorted softly and said, as sly as a fox, "The person is helping you." Empress Xianda disagreed. With her blessings, all those messy rumors are gone. Isn't this good? Zen does not care. Emperor Yongle said. Empress Xianda said, "You do not care, but you have to plan for Xi Jingxing." Emperor Yongle did not speak. After a while, Emperor Yongle called out, "King Zen." Empress Xianda answered with a hem, but was suddenly startled and turned her head around to look at Emperor Yongle. King Zen was her maiden name, and she had not heard another calling this time for a long time. Emperor Yongle did not look at her but was staring at the incensing burning. Regretful? Empress King Zen smiled. Chenqi has never regretted. After Zen dies, you follow Ding Xing. If one encounter a good person, then remarry. Emperor Yongle said, "Change your name and change your identity. You are good and will live a good life." When Empress Xianda heard those words, there were tears in her eyes. She forced those tears back and looked at Emperor Yongle. In His Majesty's eyes, Chenqi is of no value at all? She seemed to have thought of something and smiled self-depreciatingly. So it is. In the Emperor's eyes, Chenqi has always been not important. After speaking, she stood up and said to Emperor Yongle, "Chenqi understand. Chenqi will do as the Emperor wished." Then she left first. Tao Gugu saw all of it and wanted to persuade, but at the end she was unable to speak. Empress Xianda had a good temperament and there seemed to be nothing that was worth of her anger. All these years of getting along with Emperor Yongle, she had never been angry with Emperor Yongle, and it was the first time that she threw a fuss with Emperor Yongle. Emperor Yongle looked at the burning incense. Half of the incense had turned into dust and the aroma filled the air, but it would be disappeared one day, just like people's memory and affection. Yi Mai was in the room dressing up for a long time. She was already very beautiful, but ever since arriving at the Yi family, with Yi Furan supplements and tonic, she should became even more delicate and beautiful. One did not know why, but one felt that she was not as bright as before. Perhaps there was some tiredness between her brows. Today she had selected for a very long time in the room before finally picking a peach-colored satin robes, with embroidered peach blossoms on top. After carefully dressing up, even though there was some tiredness, there was a stunning feel to it. When leaving, she coincidentally encountered Yeek. Yeek took a look at her with astonishment and asked, "Older sister, where are you heading?" "Heading to the Sun family's young ladies' residence for tea," Yi Mai said with a smile. Yeek was not suspicious of her. Moreover, the guards of the Yi family were following her. Yi Mai brought the guards out and put the veil on and really headed to the residence of the young lady Sunday. Even though the Sun family's official rank was not high in Long Yi, They were not civilians. Yi Mai entered the Sun residence and let the other person lead her to a small room. Upon entering that small room, she saw Jin Xingming, who had waited for a long time. When Jin Xingming saw Yi Mai, his eyes brightened and became shocked as he said obsessively, "My you are becoming more beautiful." Yi Mai felt disgusted in her heart, but the smile on her face was sweeter as she said with grievance, "It is indeed not easy to leave the house today. One was almost unable to see older brother Jin today. If it is not the eldest brother of the Sun family that has a long-time relation with me and used his younger sister's name to send you an invitation, one feared that it is not easy to see you today." Jin Xingming sighed. Yi Mai smiled. "It is all older brother Jin's ability." Her mouth was sweet and her face was so pretty that Jin Xingming was coaxed till the anger in his heart became flowers, and just as he was happy, Yi Mai suddenly said, "It's just that when will older brother Jin be able to bring me away from Yi residence? I really don't want to stay a moment longer in Yi residence." Jin Xingming, even as such, detailed plans need to be made. After all, the Yi family is not a small family, so one must have a comprehensive strategy. Yi Mai sneered in her heart. How would there be a perfect plan in the world? It was just Jin Xingming being evasive. Most likely he was secretly investigating the Yi residence and know about Yi Maokai's power and decided to retreat. She lifted her face and said pitifully, "How could this continue on? I do not ask for anything. I do not want the Yi family fortune and prestige and only want to live happily with older brother Jin." There weren't few men that could withstand such sweet words. Moreover, the person speaking was a rare beauty under heavens. She was glamorous, eloquent, and each action was full of tease, as if inviting silently. Jin Xingming felt that his throat was somewhat dry when he saw Yi Mai licking her lips helplessly. He could no longer tolerate and did not want to endure. He held Yi Mai's hand and said impulsively, "For my sake, naturally I will not be afraid of anything. But my is so beautiful, how can my heart be placed at my palm?" He then used some force and held Yi Mai tightly in his embrace. "My if you become my people, I will definitely get you out as soon as possible." Yi Mai wanted to vomit a few times, but that hesitation was only for a short moment. Her mind quickly went through some calculation, and in the next moment, both of his hands snaked around Jin Xingming's neck and exhaled by his ears. "All right,